Hello, hello, and welcome to another edition of Choose to Challenge. I am LaWanna Bradford with the Bradford Group, as well as principal of the Bradford Group Consulting. And I am excited to be here today to talk about how do you rate your business? Struggling, surviving, or thriving? Now, for those of you who are joining us for the very first time, Choose to Challenge is a platform designed to challenge the norms, the systems, the institutions, the mindsets that may be limiting you, particularly women, in life and in business from elevating to the highest and best versions of themselves. This show challenges us to hear new ideas, philosophy, principles, tactics in order to ask ourselves the hard questions and then to make the decisions that we need to make in order to achieve the life that we want for ourselves. Now, as I mentioned previously, I'm with the Bradford Group and the Bradford Group Consulting. And on the Bradford Group side, we help you to find the money. For individuals who are looking to leverage their portfolio, we help you to do that in your business and in your life. And on the consulting side, the Bradford Group Consulting, our goal is to help businesses, both big and small, to put on that strategic lens to position themselves to stay relevant in today's changing marketplace. So let's get a little bit into this discussion about how do you rate your business? We are now in June, 6 months into the new year. Year isn't so new after all, is it? It's going by so quickly. I cannot believe we're already at that 6-month mark. And how many of you, before the end of 2021, sat down and wrote out your goals, your visions, you were crystal clear on where you wanted to go? And many of you may be tracking on those goals, but some of you may be waffling a little bit, questioning, is this really the direction I want to go? Was this really the right plan of action that I needed to take? Well, I want to challenge you to ask yourself, how often do you rate or evaluate your own business? Just like our relationships, our business is something that not only are we nurturing daily, but we should evaluate on an ongoing basis. We need to have those self-engaged conversations. If we're a solopreneur, with ourselves, looking at ourselves in the mirror, getting that whiteboard up or that big post-it note and start challenging yourself with those hard questions and conversations. And be bold enough to be true to yourself. As Shakespeare said, to thyself be true. When we are true, when we are able to truly see life and our business as it really is, then we're able to navigate the changes that we need to make. We're able to, or navigate the waters. We're able to see the obstacles and find out how we can create stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks from them. So I want to go over these 3 categories of business: the business that's struggling, the business that is surviving, and the business that is thriving. And I want you to hold a mirror up to you in your business and ask yourself these questions. Now, there are many variables and processes that we can use to map and rate and evaluate our business, where we're going, how strategically are we positioned. But there's some common sense principles. I like to call them those back to basics, those B2B principles that if we engage ourselves in them on an ongoing basis, they can help us to better assure success for ourselves. Now, only you can define what success looks like in your business. Only you know where it is that you want to go, how close you are to that vision, that ideal state. Only you can determine why you got into business. You know, what is your so what factor? So let's talk about the business that could be struggling. So I want to go over 3 things. Typically, that struggling business has limited clients. And you may say, duh, that's obvious. Well, it may not be so obvious. obvious. And the reason why I say that is sometimes we are knocking painfully at the wrong doors, meaning we haven't clearly identified who that client is. And we just hope that any door that opens will do as long as a dollar is coming through that door. But see, then that's a struggle because it's like hope methodology. I hope this may be the right door. You don't know for certain if it's the right door. So one key area is limited customers. You want to take the time to first clearly identify the demographics of your client, the social graphics of your client. Why would they buy from you? What is your value proposition? Everything that we've heard, but for whatever reason, we get so bogged into the busyness of business that we don't rise up and start to think strategically of our business and start creating strategic applications around our business, starting with the most critical cornerstone, which is our customer profile, understanding their likes, dislikes. So if you are feeling that this is sort of a painful battle that I'm in, and you feel that, yeah, this struggling label may fit me at this time, I want you to pause and look at your clients. Look at those that you've had in the past, look at those that you have now, and evaluate them against what you want them to be, like the number of clients, paying clients that you have, repeat clients, and ask yourselves, why might there be a limited pool here? So either you're swimming in the wrong water, number one, or you're not fishing with the right bait, number two. Swimming in the wrong water, not fishing with the right bait. There's 7.2 or 3 billion people in the world right now. So obviously there's not a lack of prospects out there. So you have to ask yourself, where are you targeting? If you are in that struggling landscape, are you swimming in the wrong waters? Are you fishing with the wrong bait? So think about that. Think about your clients. Challenge yourself with asking, who truly are my clients? Am I offering them what they need, or am I trying to convince them that they have a need for what I'm selling? See, that's kind of a harder place to sit. But if you have your ear and your eyes tuned to what they're saying and what they're doing, then you're able to identify those pain points, and you are able to create a package or a message that resonates with them. So then that limiting factor now becomes a factor of abundance. Now you become this attraction magnet. So again, ask yourself 2 questions. Am I swimming in the right waters, and am I fishing with the right bait? Okay. The other thing is that defines a struggling business is limited or lost income, that unpredictable income, right? So if you don't know, if you cannot tell me that this month I know that I'm going to be able to generate X amount of income for my business, then that puts you in the struggling factor, because you should be able to quantify based upon your historical performance. And if you're still doing the same thing the same way, you should be able to comfortably predict that if I do X the same way and I'm targeting a specific client, I should be able to comfortably generate X amount of income, plus or minus a few percentage points. But it shouldn't be this unknown factor month after month after month, where you're just hoping that there will be some cash flow. You're hoping there will be enough, not only to pay, perhaps you have some employees, but to pay your monthly bills, but also to pay yourself so that you can eat, right? We're in business to make money. But if your money is limited and or unpredictable, then that classifies you in that struggling business category. Now, this isn't about beating you up. This is choose to challenge. This is a time for you to sit and say, well, if I have lost income and it's not predictable, then maybe I need to reassess what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, who I'm marketing it to. So again, think about, where does your business lie? Is it a struggling business? And if it is, how do you move out of that? How do you graduate from that struggling state of being? The third thing, and again, as I mentioned, there are many criteria that we can weigh, but I want to focus on three things within each of these categories. The third thing is, many struggling business owners are not willing to invest in their business. They're looking for free. They may be looking for easy. And you may say, well, LaWanna, you don't understand. I'm struggling. I just don't have the money to. But if you're trying to create a platform that is engaging, then you're going to have to invest something. You're going to have to invest your time, your talent, and your resources. That is what's going to create this momentum in your business. I was interviewing a couple people a few months ago, actually about a month ago, and I was surprised. These are small business owners. These were actually specifically women in business. I was surprised to hear when I asked them how many of them were willing to invest in their business. And the example was advertising for your business. Would you believe 90% of them said they were not? They were willing, they were looking for free advertising, free places to sell their wares, if you will. My challenge to you is, if you are not willing to invest in your own business, in the marketing of your own products and or service, why should someone else? If you're not willing to stand up and applaud yourself and say, look at what I can do, and I am so sold out in this vision, in this product, in this service, that I'm willing to put as much as I can into it, why do you expect people to run and flock and buy from you if the energy around you shows that you're not invested or vested in your own business? So that's point number three. So when we're talking about the struggling business, we're looking at those that have limited income, that have unpredictable or lost income, and those who are not willing to invest in themselves and in their business. They're looking for handout, 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 and they're thinking that they can hand out their way to success. And the game does not work that way. Success leaves clues, ladies and or gentlemen, whoever is watching this. Success does leave clues. An investment in your business through your time, your resources, and your talents is a principle. Now let's talk about the next group, the next level of business. So let's say you've graduated from struggling to now you are a surviving business. Well, what does survival look like? So I want to tell you a story. In 2007, 2008, we were a business that was thriving. We were rocking and rolling in the mortgage industry, and the mortgage crisis hit. Well, enough said, right? With the mortgage crisis hit, rug was swept from under us. Suddenly we went from thriving to struggling. I mean, we just bypassed surviving to struggling. But because we applied proven principles and we stayed wedded and committed to our vision, we were able to, it was painful, but we were able to slowly crawl our way back up to the point of being a surviving business, to now celebrating 16 years this year in 2022, a thriving business. So I do have a little bit of experience in this. I do have a little bit of experience as a consultant working with big businesses and helping them to navigate the changes within the industry, within the economy. and also applying those same business principles to small businesses. Because see, where most small business owners miss it, they tend to forget that big business once was a small business. Big business was once that KFC who had his one restaurant, tried over and over again a technique to perfect cooking chicken. We forget that we had the Microsofts of the world starting in a basement, two friends gathered together with an idea. Somehow we tend to lose focus with that. So I challenge you to look at yourself and ask yourself again, how committed, how wedded are you to your vision? How committed are you to move forward? How committed are you to find a way when everyone else is running left and you are so committed, you're like, no, I'm going to keep pressing. I'm going to keep pressing. I believe that this has something. I believe there's value here. It's that feeling that's so tied to your inner being, you can't shake it. So let's talk about that surviving business. See, that surviving business is one that invests in partnerships, because we know we can go far by ourselves, but we can go farther together. So you invest in partnerships, you invest in building those strategic relationships. You invest in building relationships with mentors, with coaches, people who've been there, done that, or individuals who can see your abilities and talents, but they're able to, through their expertise, help you to hone them. See, that's the part of surviving, is if you think that you can do this all on your own without having that team around you of coaches, of mentors, of consultants, of partners to help guide you as you go through different phases of your business, then you're going to find yourself spinning your wheels after a while. It's going to feel like you're stuck in the mud, right? And we don't want to get stuck in the mud. We want to continue to build momentum and to move forward, right? So having those partnerships is so important. The other thing is investing. Remember, I told you that struggling business isn't willing to invest much in themselves or in their business. But a surviving business is looking for investment strategies. They're looking for ways. So an example would be, maybe you were doing a process that was very labor intensive, very manually intensive. But you thought, well, if I take the time and I invest in this technology, I invest in this software, now I can free up my time to do something else, maybe to create growth strategies, maybe to build partnerships, maybe to create improved client relations. And my technology can do the work that I was doing and my team was doing manually, but now more efficiently. My technology can create that consistency in the process that I need. That maybe if I was so reliant on manpower, that I would create more unnecessary risk for myself. That technology may, in the short term, cost me a bit of an investment, but in a long term, when I'm comparing the cost of technology versus manual labor, and the risk that manual labor is not guaranteed to stay with me all the time, meaning that great talent and resource that you have may find a better opportunity elsewhere. So that technology gives me some consistency. The other thing that a surviving business has is they have a client base. They have a proven client base. They are clear with who their clients are. They know what their clients like, what their clients dislike. Again, they understand the demographics, the social graphics of their clients. They are engaged with their clients. They are tapping in, tuning into their clients because they want to get that client feedback. See, client feedback isn't always negative. Sometimes that positive feedback helps you to know what you're doing well and what to continue. But also you can take that quote unquote negative feedback to say, okay, this is good to know. How can I improve? How can I get better? So I want to challenge you. whoever's watching now, when is the last time you asked your client, if we could change one thing in our business, what would you recommend that we do? Or when is the last time you asked your client, you've been with us for a while, what is it that you like best about working with us? Or when is the last, here's a great question, when is the last time that you've asked your client, I've noticed that you've been with us for a long time and we truly appreciate your service. Is there anyone that you could recommend us to who would benefit from our products and or services just like you do? Right? Word of mouth testimonials. When do you ask them to refer you? When do you talk to them to find out what they really think about your products and or services? Hey, Madeline, thank you so much for joining. We've got a comment here. This is very powerful information. Thank you for reminding us to take a look at our business. Thank you, Barbara, for joining. Now let's talk about the thriving business. So we've talked about the 3 principles that you can look at to evaluate your business if you feel you're struggling. We've talked about what you can look at if you feel like, hey, I'm in a kind of a sweet spot. It feels pretty good. I'm able to pay my bills. I've got a little profitability here. I'm surviving. I'm doing good. But you're not at that thriving point. So what does thriving look like? So again, I'm only picking 3. So for a thriving business is positioned for growth. A thriving business is positioned for opportunity. A thriving business is always positioned, as you hear me say over and over again, to remain relevant. They are assessing the environment continuously. They are engaged with what their clients are doing, as well as their partners, as well as their competition, right? So let's think about some of the amazing marketing compliments, I'd like to call them. KFC and Taco Bell. They're actually competitors. They're competitors in the fast food industry. Yet this brilliant marketing idea was, we realized that the same types of clients like these food sources. If we put them together under one umbrella, then we can expand our client reach, right? So now KFC can tap into the Taco Bell clients can tap into KFC clients, etc. Well, again, success leaves clues. So if big business is using these concepts, why do we as small business owners run left and right when we see someone that has a complementary business and or service, rather than coming together to say, how can we marry, partner, complement, share one another's resources, audiences, so that we can further our growth, further our reach. So again, a thriving business is always positioned for growth. They're always looking for the opportunities. They are not so down in the business that they can't see that open door or window. The other thing is, a thriving business is always looking for ways to outsource things, ways to create employment opportunities, ways to not try to do everything in isolation by themselves. As a small business owners, particularly solopreneurs, you're trying to do everything. You've got every kind of ball up in the air and behind your back. And it becomes overwhelming. You cannot grow at that rate. You cannot grow at that pace. You, as an individual, have 24 hours in a day. Life is meant to be a balanced and harmonious life. It cannot be 24 hours of work. There is burnout at the end of that. There's also health concerns at the end of that. There's torn and damaged relationships at the end of that. So the question to you is, if you want to be a thriving business, are you willing to let go of certain things to individuals that maybe be able to do it better and faster and more efficiently than you are? Are you willing to invest in resource opportunities outside of yourself, whether it is a contractor that you bring in, whether you're outsourcing and virtual assistant, whatever it is that you're doing to free up your time so that you can do other things. See, sometimes we become so mind, and you become fearful that if I give this to someone, they'll mess it up. Well, I can guarantee you, if you don't give it to someone, you're going to keep spinning around, spinning around. You'll see a little bit of success, but the thriving that you want to see will not happen. Why? Because if you don't start giving things up, then that means when you're not working, your business can't produce. When you're not working, your business can't produce because it's totally reliant on your energy and your time. So you have to find a way to streamline, economize through technology, share the wealth, become a center that becomes an employer and a benefit to the economy by giving opportunity to others, and stop trying to do it all yourself. And the last thing is leveraging, understanding the power and the art of leverage. Again, whether it's technology, whether it's leveraging knowledge, whether it's leveraging time, leveraging talent, understanding the art of leverage will be a tremendous lifesaver for you. So I just want to pause right there and to do a recap, to encourage you at this 6-month mark to truly pause and rate your business. Honestly, I know what it's like to go outside and to put on the mask so everyone thinks, "Ooh, wow, look at me, I'm rocking and rolling." But you go back home and you're looking at the bills and you're wondering, how am I going to make payroll this month? And meaning payroll to myself, right? That's number one. How am I going to even pay myself this month? Because there's so much of a struggle. So again, if you are struggling, ask yourself, why do you have limited clients? You have to be willing to ask the critical, hard questions of yourself. Why do I have limited clients? Am I fishing in the wrong waters or with the wrong bait? You want to ask yourself, why is my income unpredictable, or why do I have losing income? Why do I have lost income? Why can't I predict it month to month what my income is going to be? If you've been in business for over 3 years, you should be able to comfortably say, okay, on any given month, I should be able to average X amount. But if you're, well, I don't know, I hope I make this much, then you're still in that struggling space. And that's okay. Let's identify it. And then the next step is, now, how do we rise above that? So you have to ask yourself, do I have unpredictable or lost income? And if so, why? What is driving that? And then you have to ask yourself, are you willing to invest in your business? Are you so tapped in, tuned in, sold out for your business that you're willing to invest in yourself and in your business in order for it to grow? Or are you looking for handouts and the gimmies of things, and you just hope through hope methodology that somehow you'll get sprinkled with some pixie dust and suddenly you'll go from struggling to surviving to thriving? More than likely, that is not what is going to happen. We've got another great comment here. Thank you, Larcinia White. This is happening in our community. Summit Fitness and Buena Fitness have merged. Very excited for Susie and Chris Benettort with Mr. Hank Diaz. Yes, Hank Diaz has been in business for, I went over 50 years. I mean, just amazing, that the old guard, and seeing what can I do to still maintain relevancy, still be a resource within the community, and creating this amazing merger and partnership. So I love that example. Thank you so much. Now, when we talk about our surviving business, you want to ask yourself, are you investing in growth strategies? Are you investing in growth strategies? Are you investing in your coaches, your mentors? Are you investing in partnership relationships? Are you investing in marketing and in branding? Or are you just hoping that someone will call and say, hey, by the way, would you like to be on my show? But then if they say, well, you're going to be on my show, but this is going to be a charge, you seem to get offended. However, you have to realize that whenever you're on someone's platform, that is a paid platform. They're paying with their time, they're paying with their talent, and 9 times out of 10, they're paying with their resources. So for you to think that you should sit on someone else's platform with no cost can kind of be insulting to that person. So again, when you're thinking about business and you're thinking about growth, really look at it from a 360 standpoint and understand how exchange works. Understand commerce, right? There is a cost for platforms. There's a cost for individuals to provide different marketing platforms for you. And you have to be, again, wedded enough in your own business services products to be willing to invest in yourself if you want people to, in turn, invest in you. The other thing is your partnerships. What kind of strategic partnerships do you have? Are they trusted partnerships? Are they partnerships that share the same values and visions that you do? How are you building them? How are you leveraging these partnerships to help grow your business as well as theirs, to create mutual profitability, if you will? And then you want to ask yourself, what client base do you really have? Do you know your clients, the social graphics, the demographics of your clients, their pain points, their needs? And are you able to then create a cycle that is repeatable? Again, you don't want to just hope. You don't want to knock on the door and say, well, I hope my client's in there. You want to know that's where your client is. And you want to know that when you open up that door, you're going to be able to offer them just what they're looking for. Why? Because you've stayed tapped into your industry. You have stayed tapped into your industry. I'm going to say that again. You have stayed tapped into your industry. Success leaves clues. You have to become a student of your industry. Now for your thriving business, again, positioning yourself for growth, looking always for the opportunity. When you're positioned for growth, when you're looking for opportunity, then you become better at navigating the obstacles, the changes that may happen economically. You want to be able to position yourself to outsource, to become an employer, to not try to do everything, to leverage technology, other things that can free up your time and your resources so that you can do other things to help grow your business. You have to be willing to not try to do everything. If you do that, you're going to always stay in that struggling, unpredictable space. But that thriving business has found a way to say, okay, I can let go of this. And as a strategic visionary and owner of my business, I can lead the company and trust that I have the right talent and resources to do the other pieces and to keep us afloat and keep us growing. And the other thing is you want to master the art of leverage. Master the art of leverage. There's so many areas that can be leveraged in your business, but you have to understand how to master the art of leverage. And leveraging is a class in and of itself. So I just encourage you all to pause and ask yourself, where do you really stand with your business? What can you do if you're in the struggling state to get to the surviving state? If you're in the surviving state, to get in the thriving state? And if you're in the thriving state, what can you do to replicate yourself, right? To create change, to create branches, to create influence, income, impact, and influence around the world. I would love to connect with you and talk to you more. You can reach out to me at LaWanna at bradfordgroupmtg.com or call 678-428-5589 for a 20-minute complimentary business consult. Again, LaWanna at bradfordgroupmtg.com or call me at 678-428-5589 for a 20-minute complimentary consult. I love talking all things business, and would welcome to have a conversation with you. And this consult is one that I promise you that you will walk away with at least one golden nugget. The goal is to really help you explore where you stand with your business and what could you do to begin to shift the needle and move to the next level for yourself, for your life, and for your business. Thank you so much for joining me for another edition of Choose to Challenge. I am LaWanna Bradford, and I look forward to seeing you next week on the show. We've got a great guest coming on, so I'm so excited about that. And just remember, as I always say, when your vision intersects with opportunity, success is inevitable. Again, when your vision intersects with opportunity, success is inevitable. So stay wedded to your dreams. Know who your clients are. Ask yourself the true question: are you swimming and fishing in the right waters with the right bait? Until next time, I'm going to sign off, but first I'd like to leave you with a word from our sponsor, Help Heal Humanity.
For the past 5 years, Help Heal Humanity has successfully run an elementary school in Canaan, Haiti. Due to COVID-19, the political unrest, and the recent earthquakes, food is scarce. The students attending our program are coming to school starving, and therefore causing a disruption in their academic goals. We need your help, now more than ever, to provide these students with the nourishment they need to continue their education. Our goal is to raise $100,000 so we can feed 100 kids lunch daily and send them
Shit.